Hello everybody and welcome back. Good to talk to all of you again today. And today I've got a bit of a video. It's like a quasi-review gameplay thing all at the same time for the new US Tier 7 Premium Battleship California. Now, this is, to put it mildly, one very, very thick battleship. She is very wide and not particularly fast. In fact, she's actually about half a knot slower than the Colorado, which is the Tech Tree battleship at the same tier, which is also quite famous for not being particularly fast. But the most standout feature of all, just purely aesthetically when you first look at this ship, is the fact that she is extra wide. Historically, she is so wide that she wouldn't fit through the Panama Canal, which means that the Iowa-class battleships were actually, not as wide. In-game, the ship is not particularly fast, not particularly very, let's say, good at getting anywhere in any good period of time. Feels sluggish when you try to actually play with her, even though, technically speaking, she's got the same turning circle radius as a Colorado. Her rudder shift is slower than the Colorado, so that's not particularly great. So you would figure that she has to stand out somewhere, right? I mean, if that's not good, what is she good at? Well, she does have good AA with an asterisk attached to that, because in this day and age, good AA doesn't really mean anything because you can never stop the first strike. And that's the same problem that you're going to find here. Her AA is good, but you're still going to get hit. And that's really her standout feature. Her main guns reload slowly. Her main guns are small, 356 millimeters, which means that you have problems beating up on cruisers at the higher tiers. The only thing I guess that really kind of maybe stands out is the fact that she has decent range for a Tier 7 battleship. Her maximum gun range actually goes out to 19.9. Sigma value is 1.9, which is, a little bit better than Arizona, which is at 1.8. But her turret reverse is slow. And her gun arcs, in terms of, the angle that you need to be at in order to get all the guns out, not particularly good. You need 40 degrees of basically showing your ship at that angle before you can get all the turrets out. Her velocity isn't too bad, but again, the small caliber really limits you. I mean, I only really have decent games when I'm playing against Tier 5 ships. Yeah, don't ask me how my Tier 9 games go. Those generally don't end very well. Her armor protection is very, very, very sort of meh. Sort of very standard Tier 7 armor. Her torpedo bulge, the sort of what makes her extra thick, that is a nice chunk of armor. It does allow for some kind of bounces, but again, the issue comes down to, in order to utilize that, you have to be angled quite extremely, but you generally don't get an opportunity to do that because your gun arcs suck. Yeah, the way the ship was designed to be played by wargaming is for it to be a long distance battleship. Long distance battleship, 356 millimeter guns. Her penetration is worse than Colorado. Her accuracy it's workable, I would say, but you don't have an accuracy module or anything like that. So long distance, it does tend to look like this, like the shells kind of spread out. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, her slow speed prevents her from really doing a lot of getting to good positions quickly. In fact, in this entire game, I don't really leave this area. I basically stick around this B cap, first engaging the stuff on the D flank over here, because this is allowing me to get crossfire, because you see where the position of the Gneisenau is. And there's no way I can catch that Gneisenau at all. So I'm sitting over here, providing this kind of crossfire whenever I do get them. But eventually when I see on this side what looks like a reasonable, kind of situation going on, I transition myself to go deal with the other flank. I mean, you can see how fast the ship is accelerating. It's not very fast. You don't get anywhere in a hurry in California. I mean, yikes. Yeah, she struggles. She really, really struggles to get anywhere quickly. You know, acceleration doesn't feel particularly great. Her top speed doesn't feel particularly great. You're going to spend a lot of time getting frustrated by that because, even though Colorado is, you know, kind of the same story, not being particularly fast, at least with Colorado, you have guns with overmatch. California doesn't. So what you're really needing with California is enemy ships to give you a side to shoot. Because if you don't get a side to shoot, you're basically not getting damage. You have to wait for ships to do that, like what the Scharnhorst just did, you know, turn and give you that side. But, you know, with faster battleships, it's usually easier to get into those positions so you can actually get those shots. With California, even if you watch a situation developing, even if you want, shall we say, to get somewhere, you're just not. And in fact, in this game, I'm fortunate because the enemy team was pushing and I got to play defense for the majority of this battle, which means I didn't really have to go very far. By the way, cruisers like Pensacola and New Orleans can very easily angle you. They just kind of, you know, point their bow towards you and your AP does very little. You run into even the tier 6 battleships, they can angle you too. Yeah. You're starting to see the problem. Yeah. Right now. Not a particularly fast battleship. Not particularly great armor protection. Not particularly great guns. The only technically good thing is the AA. I mean, her concealment's good, but it's hard to really take advantage of that. You know, 11.8 conceal, but that's sort of not how she was designed to be played. I'm not really sure why she even needed that level of concealment, to be honest. Because, you know, her supposed ideal playstyle is to stay at range and hit stuff. Just a very, very, very confused ship. But I guess that has, you know, something to say about California. No? Okay, no. I better not go there. That's going to get me into trouble. But it's just a very, very, very confused ship. It doesn't really seem to gel in any kind of particular way. I mean, I get reasonable results with her, assuming that I'm in tier 7 type battles. Because if I run into tier 9, Lord save me, because, yeah, no. Like, every cruiser can angle you with ease. Yeah, it's just, she's got so little going for her. Sometimes when I've actually played, like, tier 9 games, I've just resorted to slinging HE, which kind of works, but then again, considering that everything at tier 9 can overmatch you, and everything at tier 9 can hurt you really badly, problems. Not a particularly good ship. Not particularly... Just not particularly good at anything, really. Though her one redeeming feature being anti-air doesn't really make any sense, because aircraft just strike you anyhow. Even tier 6 can get through this AA. I mean, her AA is good. I mean, you definitely shoot down airplanes, but these days with the way AA is, they can't even stop strikes. So if somebody really truly wants to hit you, they still will. So, bit of a kind of a miss, I would say, here by Wargaming, really. For a while there, I thought that maybe they would try something cute. Maybe they would have tried something like a, you know, some kind of secondary thing. That didn't happen. Her secondaries are terrible. Never gonna get to use those. Yep, I mean, you can see the performance of her turning. You bleed a lot of speed. You're not fast. This is the AA in action, too. Yeah. As a whole, California is just... Yeah. I guess you would buy her if you were a historical collector. You know, you just wanted a ship that historically was real. And that would probably be the main reason, because for every other purpose, I just don't see a point to the ship. Actually, you can watch this little bit here. A Nagato, I would almost be destined to sling HE at it, if it angled me. You can see that when it fired at me, some of the shells did manage to go to the sort of thicker torpedo protection. So that has a possibility to allow you to bounce shells, because it is a surface that can't be overmatched. But again, if they know how to aim correctly and they shoot for your upper belt, your you know, sort of bow stern area, they're still going to be able to overmatch you there and do good damage. Yeah, all in all, California was this is not a ship that I view very highly, to be honest. It's a ship that I'm just not sure Wargaming really realizes sort of how uninspired this ship is. By the way, just to put that into perspective, earlier I mentioned that her gun arcs were 40 degrees. Arizona, if I remember correctly, is 33 degrees. So a tier 6 has better gun arcs, allowing it to actually more easily angle towards things. Yep. I mean, okay, I guess, you know, you could make the argument that torpedo defense is something, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a selling feature. Like, I wouldn't buy a ship purely because of torpedo defense. It just doesn't really make that much sense. So that's it. That's really the gist of it. I mean, you can bully tier 5s. Yep, you can definitely bully tier 5s. In fact, that New Orleans over there is less able to be bullied than that New York is. I can bully that New York harder than the New Orleans, because the New Orleans just has to turn into me and then that's it. Like, I will not be able to actually penetrate the New Orleans armor. Just bounces. But in New York, I can hurt a New York. Well, let's see if I can try on the New Orleans here. Okay, don't hit me, don't hit me. Yep. Okay, let me just give this a try. See if I can show you. Oh, I mean, I guess, you know, if I catch a New Orleans like this and I can hit him, should be able to get some damage here. Yeah, I did catch him. Okay, so I picked up a little bit of damage. That's good. Oh yeah, also your armor doesn't protect you against HE either. So, you know, if somebody decides to hit you with hard with high explosive, yep, you're very vulnerable everywhere. Like I said, 26 bow, 26 stern, 26 upper deck and everything. So pretty vulnerable. Yeah, California is just, and you'll notice that I never really even like leave this area because she's really not fast. In fact, if your team needs to push, that's not really your job. Good luck trying to push, because by the time you even get anywhere close to where you need to be, the fight's already moved on, usually. You can't fully kite away either, because you're also really slow. So really her ideal role is, yeah, try to find crossfires. And in those situations where you're finding crossfires, you still have to make sure that whatever you're shooting at is broadside enough. That's a key thing. You have to be broadside enough, because if you're not really having much joy there. Also, her heal is very kind of meh too. Like, you'll notice that I'm only able to heal 8,000 because they've designed this thing for long range combat, so she's not healing much either. As a whole, this ship is super disappointing. And I'm not really sure why you would buy her. I mean, I guess if you truly like really thick looking ships, you know, something that you can look at in your port and kind of giggle and laugh about it and compare her to the Grosser Kurfürst to see which ship is thicker. I guess if that's something that you would enjoy, then go for it. But otherwise, yeah, California is a wonderful reflection of modern America. Just not particularly, yeah. Anyways. I mean, there, see? I can't bully a tier 5. I can definitely bully small ships 2 tiers lower than me. Can't fight things that are my own tier, effectively. But I can go invade and beat up little guys. Totally the way.
Good game, everyone.
Alright, I mean, I will eventually kill these guys. Hold up here. I'll eventually kill the New York and this New Orleans. I'm sure of it. Nope, ricochet. See? That's what happens. You hit something like a New Orleans that actually has 25mm plating, and that's what ends up happening. You actually ricochet shots. Now, that's why I said a New Orleans could have just bow in towards me, and I would have died under its HE spam. So, it's actually a good thing that the New Orleans doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, I'm gonna murder this New York because this New York doesn't understand what angling is. Just full broadside. Just, you know, easy clap here. There you go, dead. Yeah, I'm still racking up decent damage. Just again, pay attention to what tier I'm playing. I had one game where I played a game where there was a Musashi on the other team. You can kind of predictably know what's sort of happening there. I wasn't doing that much at all. Yeah, that was frustrating. That was frustrating. And then, you know, he can't even really kite away from stuff because, you know, normally kiting away gives you a certain level of, you know, speed so you can actually run and keep things at a distance. California, good luck. Most of the high tier battleships will run you down and murder you, and there's not much you can do. Yeah. In terms of angling, the only thing you're going to try to do, of course, is try to bait shots off of that main, you know, the sort of that main torpedo belt, that, like, sort of, you know, the one that they added on. You know, that's the only surface that can possibly bounce. But just don't really think about using all your guns then, because if you show just a little bit of side, you're going to take damage. Yeah. Fantastic gameplay experience, I tell you. So, personal recommendation, don't buy it. I don't think she's worth it. But if you're like, yay history, yay collector's purposes, or just simply yay whale, go for it. And there we go. I'm just going to kill the New Orleans now. I also mentioned that earlier, that the reload of the ship was actually bad too, right? Right? I hope I mentioned that. Not a good ship. Anyways, hopefully that's given you a relatively good picture of what the hell this ship is. That's it. And here are the final results. Just under 550,000 credits earned, 9,326 experience. Confederate, Dreadnought, Kraken, High Caliber. Just under 150,000 damage done. That's pretty good. Base experience 2018, so it puts me top of the team. We had an AFK Bliskovica, didn't really feel it. Again, you know, ideal battle for California, fighting tier 5s. Damage was done by AP in this game, although if you're playing against tier 9s, you'd probably be seeing a lot more HE being flung around. Credits earned 315,000 credits without a premium, with a premium just shy of 500k. Anyways, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or whatever, let me know in the comment section below. Aside from all that, take care, have yourselves a good one, and I'll talk to all of you again next time.